Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day today. The sun is out, it's in the 60s. We're at the end of April and we're about 2 weeks or so before our last frost, according to the Farmer's Almanac, which here in Connecticut in our area is supposed to be about May 1st. So today our focus is on getting our seeds in, getting our plants in, and getting our gardens going. So we're going to be working in our new permaculture beds that we've put together, and I'm going to show you a little bit. We've kind of rushed these a bit. Normally we would start in the fall, lay down some mulch and hay and compost and let it go over the winter, but since we weren't able to do that last fall, we've kind of rushed them a bit. So underneath the dirt, if you dig in, we've got some, if I get way in here, you've got some compost that's was put in early spring that is starting to break down a little bit but has a ways to go. So we're helping it along by adding some dirt on top of it. And in this bed today we're going to do our potatoes and then put some straw on top of those. So here we go, getting our potatoes going. So we're ready to put our potatoes in. We've got our rows done. We have about 24 pounds of potatoes to plant this year. We've got Kennebecks, Yukon Golds, and Russets. So we've got a little bit of a variety this year. Unfortunately, we don't have as much space as we'd like to this year. So now we're at the point of putting in the potatoes. You always want to make sure your eyes are up. A lot of people cut their potatoes in half. We're not doing that because we don't actually need to. We have plenty of potatoes and not extra space. So we're going to dig down in just a little bit, get the potato in, and once we've got all our potatoes planted, then we'll be covering these back up and then covering the whole thing with some hay. So now it's time to get them in the ground.
Okay, now we're just going to cover up the potatoes we just put in, and just to get them covered so that the sun doesn't hit them, otherwise they'll go green on us and we're growing potatoes, not nightshade.
So now we've got the potatoes covered with a thin layer of dirt, and it's time to cover it with some hay. So the reason that people use hay to cover in their gardens is it chokes out the weeds, it keeps in the moisture, and as it decomposes, it adds nutrients back into the soil. So if we had started this last fall, we would have started with hay and allowed it to decompose over the winter, which would have given us a better base to start from. So this is now the stage that we're at. So we've got all this to do.
Okay, now as the potatoes start growing and they get maybe 6 inches up from this first layer of hay that we're putting down, rather than mounding with dirt, we're just going to add more hay, and we're going to mound right into the hay. And the beauty of that is when it's time to harvest your potatoes, you don't have to dig through the dirt at all, you just have to dig through the hay. It's a lot easier, a lot cleaner, and with any luck we have a decent crop this year. We're hoping for maybe 100 pounds. Well,
We're done for now. We've got the hay all over the potatoes, well covered. So there's layer 1 done. And we took the rest of the leftover hay and used it to cover the other beds. We're not quite ready to plant into those yet. We need to wait another week or two before we start moving plants in and throwing some seeds in. So that'll be another video. But we were able to get a lot of that done. We used some of the extra hay to cover our onions and garlic that we have in another bed behind me here. So until next time, it's time to take a break for lunch and then on to the next project.
see you then.